So just kind of watch, make sure the camera doesn't get disconnected.
So basically, we worship the Lali chant, the glorification of Lord Balarama, we chanting Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram. And we chanting Nityananda Ram. So Lord Nityananda is also Lord Balaram. And he is the servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Balaram is in service to Lord Krishna. So this is the personality of Lord Balaram. He is the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But what does he do as a servant of the Lord? He spreads the message of Krishna consciousness. This is what he does. He actually gives us that knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, I'm going to read a little bit from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela chapter 5. It's called the glory of Lord Nityananda Balaram. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj begins by saying, let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is opulent with the necessary and by his will, even a fool can understand his identity. So that identity is the identity of pure spirit soul, uncontrollable Supreme Lord. And he said, he goes, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Vaita Chandra Jaya Gaura all glories to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to His Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Acharya. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he said he described the glory of Sri Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now in 5 verses he can describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnation. Lord Balarama is the second one. So Lord Balarama is the same as Krishna, he's just the second one. In the purport of Prabhupada says, Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the primeval, original form of Godhead. And his first expansion is Sri Balarama. The personality of Godhead can expand itself in innumerable forms. The forms that have unlimited potency are called Pumsa, and the forms that have limited potency, which are the living entities, the Jiva entities, are called Devanasa. So, here you will say these two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balarama is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastime. So the Prabhupada says that Balarama is a swamsa expansion of the Lord. And therefore there is no difference in potency between Krishna and Balarama. The only difference is in their bodily structure. As the first expansion of Godhead, Balarama is the chief deity among the first 44 forms. And he is the foremost assistant of Sri Krishna in his transcendental. So, talking about the quadruple form, Supreme Lord, expands himself into 4 forms. And yet, the original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balarama appeared with Lord Nityananda. Then praying to Lord Nityananda Ram, may Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankashan, Sesha, Naga, and Vishnu who lie on the Karana ocean, Garba ocean, and ocean of milk, are his plenary portion and the portion of his plenary portion. So this is important. Nityananda Ram, Balarama, is Sankashan, he is Krishna, he is Vishnu who lie on the Karana ocean, before the ocean. He is the Garba ocean and the ocean of milk. These are all his plenary portions and portions of the plenary portions. So all that you see is the expansion of Krishna and Balarama. So Sri Damodar Goswami recorded this verse in the diary to offer his respectful obeisances to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. This verse also appears in 7 of the 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Lord Balarama is the original Sankashan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. He himself helps the pastimes of the Lord, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. So here we're hearing Lord Balarama, he manifests himself, he himself helps with the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. So all the creation that we see is Balarama. All the creation in the spiritual world is also Balarama. Everywhere we look is Balarama. We are saying that we see Krishna, we pray to Krishna, because Balarama is Krishna. But Balarama is saying Krishna, and Balarama's purpose is to give knowledge to Sri Krishna. He is the original spiritual master, and he is giving knowledge of the Supreme Personality. He executes the order of Lord Krishna in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Krishna, he serves Krishna in various ways. In the purport that Prabhupada says, according to the exclusive opinion, Balarama is the chief of the original quarter form is also the original Sankirtan. Balarama, the first expansion of Krishna, expands himself in five forms. One is Mahasankirtan, two is Karanadakshayi Vishnu, three is Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and Shirodakshayi Vishnu is Sesha. So, the Karanadakshayi Vishnu is the original Vishnu lying before the ocean. The Garbhodakshayi Vishnu is the creator of each individual universe. And the Shirodakshayi Vishnu is the super soul within the heart of the Buddha. This is all Balarama. It's not anyone else, it's Balarama. But he is actually serving the Supreme Lord. These five primary portions are responsible for both the spiritual and material cosmic manifestation. I read that again. These five primary portions are responsible for both the spiritual and material cosmic manifestation. So everything that exists, apart from Sri Krishna himself, is Balarama. Everything is coming from him. He is doing the work for Sri Krishna. The first four of these forms are responsible for the cosmic manifestation, where Sesha is responsible for personal service to the Lord. Sesha is called Ananta, or unlimited, because he assists the personality of Godhead in unlimited expansion by performing an unlimited variety of services. Sri Balarama is the servant of Godhead, who serves Lord Krishna in all affairs of existence and knowledge. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is the same service to Godhead, Balarama performs the same service to Lord Garanga by his constant association. So, even though he is so extremely powerful, he is the servant of Godhead. He serves the Supreme Lord. And because he has the full knowledge of who the personality of Godhead is, because he is constant. So in all these forms, he takes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. The same Bharara of Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Darasana. So this is how he explains it in these five verses to Lord Balarama. So very revealing to understand that Balarama is the creator of the spiritual and material world. Everything that we see is Balarama. Krishna is in Goloka Vrindavan. He and Balarama, they are tending the cows, they are herding the cows. Krishna, he doesn't do all this work. Balarama does. So Balarama, being the servant of Godhead, he is the wonderful personality who gives us Krishna. He is leading us to the Supreme Lord. And so we spend our time worshiping the Supreme Lord via the instruction of Lord Balarama. So you find that we want to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we have to do it via the instruction of Sri Krishna himself. So Lord Balarama, he is given the explanation in the Krishna, where we can actually see that Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama, they are enjoying pastime. And sometimes Balarama also, he has his own pastime. Whereas Krishna enjoys the devotees in Vrindavan, Balarama also enjoys the devotees in Vrindavan. So he is just as powerful as Supreme Personality of God. In the Battle of Kurukshetra, Balarama wasn't there. He didn't get involved because he disagreed, with some of the things that took place. So he went on pilgrimage, and he didn't stay around. So this is this is Balarama. In fact, he came when they were beginning to recite to Bhagavatam. And Srila Goswami is the son of Ramaharshan. And Ramaharshan was sitting on the Vyasa and Balarama entered the audience, and everyone offered obeisances to Lord Balarama. And Srila Ramaharshan didn't get up. He thought, I'm on Vyasa, I'm the most exalted seat, I don't have to get up. And Balarama came after him, and he killed him with a straw. Just a little straw that's useless. You can't, any child can break it up. He killed it with a straw. So, Balaram is also the supreme strength. Bala means strength, but he's also spiritual strength. And so that's why he is the spiritual master, because he is spiritual strength. So you find that always we try to pray to Lord Balaram. We take shelter from him. And we find that by doing that, we get the mercy of Sri Krishna. So there are instances in the Krishna book where Balaram, he actually destroyed the demons on his own. One of the things to remember is when Lord Brahma stole the cows and the cows were boys, Lord Krishna took the form of those boys and those cows. Because one moment in the time of Lord Brahma was equal to a year on the earthly planet. And so you find that Lord Krishna had to cover for his children and for the cows. And so he expanded himself into all these forms. Lord Balaram was there, but he didn't notice it. But finally he noticed it, he said, how is it that all these mothers, they're so attached to the children? How are the cows so attached to the cows when previously they were attached to you? There must be some mystery what this. Until then, Krishna explained what it was. So he understood. Balaram, even though as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, didn't see that because of the special potency of Krishna. And he covered it from what Balaram, found out afterwards. There's a situation where Lord Krishna is built, and his friends complained why he eating this, and Lord Balaram said, why are you eating this? And they brought him to Mother Yashoda. And he says, I'm not eating this. They're lying. Balaram and all these fools, they're telling lies about me. And so, these are the pastimes of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. Of course, Balaram doesn't lie. And so, he opened his mouth. When he opened his mouth, his mother saw the entire universe inside him. And she fainted the next day. But the thing about it is that Lord Balaram and Krishna, when they were boys, they began crawling around and playing with the cows. They were also young boys, but they wanted to herd the cows. And their father, Nanda Maharaj, he said, you're too young to herd the cows. So maybe you can herd the cows. So they were able to do the cows. And for Krishna, He knows all the powers of the cloud. He knows everything. But as a little boy, he is acting in that manner for the pleasure of his devotees. And Lord Balarama is also acting in that manner for the pleasure of his devotees. So you find that the purpose of the personality of Godhead is to give pleasure to the Lord, to the people. Why did he come to this material world? He comes for the pleasure of his devotees. He comes to give them this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And sometimes he destroys the demons also. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he didn't destroy the demons. But he changed their hearts. He destroyed the demoniac mentality. And by doing that, what happened is so many people became devotees of the Supreme Lord. So you find that, uh, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he manifests himself as different ways. So there's the story of the killing of the demon Balarama. So it says here that after extinguishing the devastating fire, so there was that fire and Krishna swallowed the fire. Krishna summoned by his relatives, friends, cows, calves, and bulls, and glorified by his friends singing, again entered Vrindavan, which is always full of flowers. So it's amazing that the spiritual world is full of flowers. While Krishna and Balarama were enjoying life in Vrindavan, in the midst of the crowd of boys and girls, the season gradually changed to summer. Summer season in India is not very much welcome because of the excessive heat. But in Vrindavan, everyone was pleased because in summer there is like spring. So this was possible only because Krishna and Balarama were controllers, even of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, were residing there. In Vrindavan, there are many falls which are always pouring water, and the sound is so sweet that it covers the sound of the crickets. And because the water flows all over, the forest always looks very green and beautiful. The inhabitants of Vrindavan were never disturbed by the scorching heat of the sun or the high summer temperatures. The lakes of Vrindavan are surrounded by green grasses and various kinds of flowers bloom there, such as the Kalara, Kanja, and Pala fruit flowers. And the air blowing in Vrindavan carries the aromatic pollen of those flowers. So it's describing Vrindavan seems like a nice place to be. So, so we see that once while the boys were engaged in the Shantam and the pastime, a great demon named Kalambasura entered their company, desiring to kidnap both Balaram and Krishna. Although Krishna was playing the part of a cowboy boy, as the Supreme Personality is guided, he could understand everything, past, present, and future. So when Kalambasura entered their company, Krishna began to think how to kill the demon. But externally he received him as a friend. Oh my dear friend, he said, it is very good that you have come to take part in our pastime. Krishna then called all his friends and ordered them. Now we shall play in pairs. We shall challenge one another in pairs. With this proposal, all the boys assembled together. Some of them criticized Krishna, and some criticized Balaram. And they arranged to play in the duel. The defeated members in the duel fighting had to carry the victorious members on their back, as a horse carries its master. They began playing and at the same time tending the cows as they proceeded through the Mandurila Brahman forest. So that's amazing. They're playing and they're still tending the cows. The party of Balarama, accompanied by Sridham and Vishal, came out victorious. and Krishna's party had to carry them on their back through the Balarama forest. The Supreme Personality Radha Krishna being defeated had to carry Sri Ram on his back, and Vajrasena carried the Shravan, indicating that the Palamasura was here there to power the carrying Balarama on his back. Palamasura was the greatest of demons, and he had calculated that Krishna was the most powerful of the powerful lords. So in order to avoid the company of Krishna, Balarama carried Balaram far away. And the demon was undoubtedly very strong and powerful. But he was carrying Balaram, who is compared to a mountain, and therefore he began to feel the burden, and thus he assumed the three forms. When he appeared in the three features, he was decorated with a golden helmet and earrings, and he looked just like a cloud with lightning carrying the moon. Balarama observed the demon's body expanding up to the limits of the cloud, his eyes dazzling like blazing fire, and his mouth flashing with sharp teeth. At first, Balarama was surprised by the demon's appearance and began to wonder, how is it that all of a sudden this carriage has changed in every way? But with a clear mind, he quickly understand that he was being carried away from his friend by a demon who intended to kill him. Immediately, he struck the heavenly demon with a strong fist. Just as the king of the heavenly planet strike a mountain with his thunderbolt. Stricken by the fist of Balarama, the demon fell down dead, just like a snake with a smashed head and blood poured from his mouth. When the demon fell, he gave a tremendous sound, and it sounded as if a great hail were falling upon being struck by thunderbolt. All the boys rushed to the spot, astonished by the ghastly scene, and they began to praise Balarama with words, well done, well done. All of them embraced Balarama with great affection, thinking that he had been given to death, and they offered their blessings and congratulations. All the demons in the heavenly planet became very satisfied and showered flowers on the transcendental body of Balarama, and they also offered their blessings and congratulations for his having killed great demon. So, this is Balarama. He also had a pastime in Vrindavan, and he was performing activities separate from Krishna, but he also performed activities with Krishna. So, this person Balarama and Sri Krishna, their brothers. Balarama is the elder brother. At the time of his birth, when he was born from Devaki, he was not actually born from Devaki. But what happened is he was transferred from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. And Rohini was having a female child, and she was transferred to the womb of Devaki. And that personality was Durga. And when she came out, you know, Kamsa was trying to kill her, but she pulled out, she stepped out of her hand, and she said, in the sky, she looked at him, she said, the Krishna you are looking to kill is already born. Actually, that happened even after he was born. So, Balarama was transferred, and then Balarama was born from Mahini, and Krishna was born from Devaki after. So, Balarama is the son of Devaki, but transcendentally he was transferred to the room of Rohini, so he's called Rohini Sutta. Because, you know, that Rohini is the mother. And then when Krishna was born, Vasudeva took Krishna to Vrindavan, and so Krishna and Balarama they met there and they grew up there. And so they were always enjoying with one another. And like we hear, Balarama is the originator of all the material as well as the spiritual world. So everything we see, material and spiritual world is all Balarama. But Balarama is telling us about Krishna and guiding us to the personality of God. In the case of Lord Nityananda, in the case of Lord Nityananda, Lord Nityananda was struck in the head by giant Vijay and he started to bleed. And Lord Chaitanya was coming with a Sudarshan chakra to kill him. And he was so merciful that he begged for them. And when he came, they took shelter of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, and they became devoted to Krishna. So, this is Balarama, this is his mercy. He is willing to make everyone devoted. And in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Balarama and Haridas Thakur, they were sent out to transform everyone into devotees, preachers, Krishna consciousness. So he is always preaching this. He's always preaching this, and he's always giving us the benefit to come to the Supreme Personality of God. So we can also remember Balarama as the spiritual master, as the originator of the spiritual and material world, as really including everything we see, but he is giving us vision of Krishna. So by his mercy, we can see Krishna. Without his mercy, all we see is his influence. So if we stop at 7:54, please. I don't think anyone has any question. Um, so, Krishna Balaram ki jai, Nityananda Ram ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. And we can all take some prasad.